Iran is now holding the entire global economy hostage.
Can't believe we got into this. Like, how did anyone not see it
you,
coming?
you know,
Honestly,
I'm,
it's just so surprising to me. It's so
it's
surprising to me.
because the response you're having is the response that every person who has any investment in the global oil trade and every byproduct that comes from oil, natural gas, including helium and fertilizer and all of these things, you think, how did we get here?
Mm.
Right? Well, it wasn't because there was a permission slip from the Gulf states to go do this. Donald Trump did this in cooperation with Benjamin Netanyahu. I'm sure they briefed the Saudis, and they probably gave them a guarantee that they were going to wipe the Iranian armed forces off the face of the earth and that they would neuter them as a force that could ever attack them again. And as you see, we're on day 25 going into day 26 of this operation, and Tel Aviv is being hit every day by multiple missiles. Gulf states were doing engagements all day today against ballistic missiles and drones, and not at the highest level that we started the war with. But if I were Iran, I'd be playing long ball. I'd be waiting, shooting enough drones to go out for a year, right? To make sure that you understand every day that you supported the American operation is a day that you take one step closer to the collapse of the global economic norms. And guess who that doesn't affect? It doesn't affect Iran. China has an easy pass, they can
Yeah.
go through. India has an easy pass, Pakistan has an easy pass. Any ship that loads at Karg Island or an Iranian port, the moment a drop of oil goes into it, it is waived from sanctions, which is mind-bogglingly crazy. I don't know what the United States is thinking by paying the Iranians to wage this war. But the every ship that goes out, it's $250 million of profit to the government of Iran.
It's
They could
insane.
sit
It's
and do
insane.
this
Yeah.
all day, as in the words of Captain America. I could do this all day.
But how long can they sustain the bombing from the US and Israel? Because at the end of the day, they're gonna run out of targets to bomb. I understand that they won't bomb the infrastructure because then Iran would retaliate in kind, and then the global economy, the energy market is screwed. But then in terms of military targets, eventually they'll all be bombed out. No.
Yeah, they're going to run out of targets. We say this all the time. Then what you do is you go through a restrike matrix, right? You rescrub the entire country and you go,
Yeah.
is there anything that we didn't damage, right? I mean, we can bomb nonstop all day. And a good example of where this could end up is if you recall during, Saddam Hussein's time, the United States created these two areas they called no-fly zones, Operation Southern Watch and Operation Northern Watch. And it was so that we would protect the Basrawis who carried out a rebellion at the end of the Gulf War. And we didn't want Saddam going down and slaughtering them with helicopters after we let Saddam come down and slaughter them with helicopters. And then the Kurds in the north. We bombed daily for 10 years. 10 years. Anytime an anti-aircraft gun position went down there, we bombed it. Anytime a surface-to-air missile radar came up, we bombed it. 1,800 strikes in 10 years. And all we did was just bomb. And most people forget that we did this because it became so routine. We could be living over Iranian airspace for the next year or 2 years. But the global economy, you got one other thing. Everyone should start remembering von Clausewitz, right? It's not about the bombs, guns, and fighter jet rides. That is just the method that we express our political will. All wars are politics by other means. Therefore, the bombing is just trying to force a political solution that is unacceptable to the Iranians to the point where they won't do anything other than attack back. And so, anyone who thinks we can bomb our way out of this should remember the Vietnam War, right? We were in Vietnam for over 10 years. We dropped like 3 times the number of bombs that we dropped in World War II, and which
Jesus
was
Christ.
millions
That
of
is
people.
insane.
And we are now having, if you go to Saigon, it's Ho Chi Minh City, right? You're making all of our sneakers under the communist government of Vietnam. You cannot bomb your way to peace, no matter how much you think about it. A political solution has to happen. The Iranian solution is to sit still, have a chai, watch the Americans do what they want to do, draw blood, and then make every other country in the world suffer, right? Because of what the United States is doing. And that is long ball. And they are winning because at some point, the system's going to get near breaking, and the United States is going to have to account for it.
How
And
do
they'll
people forget?
withdraw.
Malcolm, you just mentioned the Vietnam War, 3 to 3.5, 3.3 to 3.5 million Vietnamese deaths.
Mhm. Yeah. And,
It
you
just
know,
shows
there's
you how much worse what we're seeing right now could get.
you know, Vietnam's not actually a very big country. I believe Vietnam is about the size of the Zagros Mountains from like, you know, right about south of Tehran to, you know, Bushir. It's not big, but that was also a land war, right? I mean, we lost 58,000 soldiers. They lost almost 1 million people. We bombed indiscriminately, many times, many places. Is that where we're going? Because I would have to know as a warfighter or as an intelligence professional, right? You have to tell me what is the end state you're trying to get to. All I can tell you is where the enemy is, what they're doing. And if you want to bomb it, go ahead, bomb it, right? You're expending money, you're expending resources. People will die from accidents. Helicopter airplanes will have malfunctions and go down in the enemy terrain, and they'll win a propaganda victory. And right now, the Iranians' propaganda is so good in this war. I got to tell you, I don't know if you've seen the Lego video they put out the other day.
Oh,
And I'm so as soon as I saw it, I thought, explain to me how the United States was not ready for this. Because every person in the world watched that video and they go, all a ship has to do is hit a mine or be hit by a ballistic missile, and Iran will prove that their Lego video was a prophecy. So, what is the objective of this war? No one knows at this point. And Trump has changed it so many times. Right now, he is preparing to do a land invasion of Iran, Karg Island, all of the islands in the Strait of Hormuz.
you think
You
that's
know,
more likely than reaching a peace deal?
oh yeah, 100%. I really
Wow.
don't have any faith that this peace talk is real. I don't at all. I think it's a strategic deception to get U.S. forces into position. And I'm not saying this because I don't like Trump, right? I mean, the man is an idiot. He really doesn't know what he's doing. He thinks this is a real estate deal, and that if he takes terrain, it's like eminent domaining your front yard so that they could build a car park. It's not like that. There are 93 million people, and as I see it, I hear from Sky News had teams there who said the average Iranian is getting really mad at the West. They wouldn't support Khamenei, but now they're starting to see it as the West is abandoned us. They hate us. They're racist. They're attacking us. So, from the perspective of an intelligence collector, I'd say, hey, listen, you're losing the cultural war. There are no hearts and minds here to win so long as we keep bombing. If you bomb the power plants, we're done. They will take, I mean, if we take Karg Island, Iran may punish Kuwait for that by saying, "Oh, you flew helicopters out of Kuwait, or you flew helicopters out of, the King Fahd military city in Saudi Arabia. We're going to destroy 3 water desalination plants." Kuwait gets 100% of
Ooh,
its water out of
that's insane.
100% of its water out of a desal plant that's on the coast. And so, make your decision. You can take Karg Island, and like I said the other day, the first thing the Iranians will do, if they don't mine it and bombard it or blow it up themselves, they'll let us have it. And we'll sit there for a few days. And the first thing they'll do is before lunch, go to the big valve and shut off all the oil to the island. Now you have sand and you have one shisha bar with nobody in the town, right? And you've killed a bunch of IRGC guys, and there is nothing on that island that is now worth anything to America other than the video of us